you search, then you shall find. Put together in my mind. When you put your mind on mine, I knew you were mine. I'm missing you.
Hey family! So we're back with a midweek vegan drop for you. We'll be making a soup, Astoria famous soup, by my roommate Anna. She makes the best soup in the world.
And I make the worst soup in the world, apparently.
I just think Harry can get some pointers. So she's agreed to do a transatlantic cooking tutorial with us. All right, so these are our ingredients for today. Vegan approved sausages, veggie stock, carrots, potatoes, onions, garlic, some green lentils, mushrooms, curly kale, salt, pepper, and then herbs of your choosing. Harry also has an herb garden over here, parsley, and then possibly the rosemary in the back. All right, we are joined by Anna all the way across the Atlantic in Astoria, New York.
Hi, I'm Anna, and I make soups, and Terrance has asked me several times to show him and Harry how to make this soup, but it's always this same soup.
I'm calling it Anna's Astoria famous soup.
Aww. It's got sausage and lentils and potatoes and mushrooms, and it's like a really hearty winter stew. And I think today we're doing it vegan.
Yes.
We're doing vegan sausage. You're gonna start with some oil, whatever kind of oil you want, in your pot. And I wouldn't turn it on yet because we're gonna chop some garlic. You can use quite a few cloves of garlic. You can maybe use like 4 or 5.
Chopping up some garlic.
We have a mix of shallots and onions here.
Perfect. I have like 1 shallot and then like a sad end of a shallot, and that's probably what I'm gonna use.
Yeah.
Maybe chop it finer.
Okay.
You are gonna wanna wait between steps a couple minutes as you throw stuff in, so it's not all in at once. Turning this on, and yours is already on, right?
Yeah, we have ours on a medium. Here we go. Yeah. It already smells good.
Good. Are you guys using fresh herbs, or are you using any herbs?
Fresh.
Rosemary, parsley, and coriander.
Technically, you would want to put it in at this stage, but if you put it in and the heat's high enough that everything else will caramelize, it's just going to burn. Maybe add just before you add the broth.
It's smelling really good. That looks really good too, doesn't it? Mm-hmm.
And the garlic can brown, but if you notice it's starting to like burn and smoke, you can just turn the heat down a little bit. And then next is carrots. I'm going to use 2 little ones. How is veganism going?
Because it is VEGANuary, there's like replacements for everything, really easy to get. There was like 4 choices of butter, which has never been the case.
Yeah, even like since I stopped being vegetarian, I feel like there's a lot more options now with all the like fake meats and the Beyond and all that.
Kind of went wild the first week of VEGANuary, and we were getting like every meat replacement we could find.
I saw in the video, I was like, all processed soy. That's all
processed. And so we're like, maybe this is the spirit of VEGANuary. Now we're trying to go back to like using vegetables.
So next would be celery if we were using celery, but we're skipping it. So then potatoes. I'm using 4 little red potatoes, and I'm not peeling them. But you can use whatever you want.
So I'm cutting the potatoes into cubes.
How's the pot looking? Is anything starting to burn?
The garlic is starting to brown, but it's a good looking brown.
Next, you're gonna do your vegan sausages. What kind did you get?
Linda McCartney's. These are the ones we like the most. Red onion, rosemary.
You can use either 1 or 2, depending on how much you like them.
Wow.
I forgot to get vegan sausages and veggie broth at the store the other day, so I was like, maybe I'll just make them with like the chicken sausages I have, and I was like, no, have to support VEGANuary, I'll go back.
Thank you.
And next, you can do some mushrooms.
How many mushrooms?
I do maybe like 5. Chop the mushrooms kind of roughly instead of like nice little slices. I like when they're chunked. You can maybe like quarter them or kind of like sixth them.
Cool. A rustic chop
by now, if the pot's starting to get kind of crowded, you can keep stirring it, make sure everything gets in contact with the bottom.
It's smelling amazing.
Good. So next you're going to wash your kale. And you can chop it if you want, but oh, yours is already chopped. Okay, then never mind. Just throw it in. I just like to rip it. If there's any big stems, use some of the stems, but don't use all of the stems. And you can use more kale than you think you need because it's going to cook down a lot. It's going to just look like a giant pot of kale. But then, after you stir it, and try to sort of like flip it so that the kale is on the bottom instead of the other stuff, it'll start to look more reasonable, and then it'll keep cooking down. And now, because soon we're going to add broth, and kale's giving off enough the water that it won't burn, I think now you can add your herbs. I think I've only ever seen coriander seed. What does coriander leaf smell like?
It's hard to explain. It looks like that.
Oh, it's cilantro.
Oh yeah, that's coriander, cilantro.
I always forget that it's the same thing.
I forgot.
Terrance has been here so long now, he's starting to forget his Americanisms, I guess.
Oh.
At what point should we start adding black pepper and salt?
I would do pepper now, but what kind of broth do you have?
We have the stock cubes.
Okay. I would definitely wait to add any salt until after you taste it with that, because sometimes they're really salty. You will probably need to add salt eventually, but just maybe don't do it yet. All your pepper, herbs, if you have any like dried herbs or spices you want to use, you can do that now. I never buy fresh herbs, but I was like, this has a good excuse.
Should we have time?
And you can probably add the stock cubes now too, unless you want to mix them with water separately and then dump it in. Either's fine.
We did that.
Oh, great. I'm using actual liquid vegetable broth. And I add a ton of pepper, but you don't have to. You can do whatever you want. What's that Italian seasoning again? Ooh, it smells good now.
It smells like mussels.
I'm about to.
Add in broth.
And then I add more water. It's better to add too much water and then let it cook off than add water later, because then the water won't get a chance to be flavored. Stir it, make sure everything has lifted off the bottom if it was sticking to the bottom, and taste it. See what it needs. Add salt, add pepper, add more herbs if you want.
It actually tastes really good already. Oh, and I have hope.
Mine is pretty bland still, so I'm gonna add salt, but I'm not gonna add as much salt as it needs now, because then when the water evaporates, it'll be too salty. So I'm gonna add a little salt. Ooh, I've never made it with fresh rosemary before, and I'm really liking it. It's good.
Oh, how's my Haworthia doing? It's looking healthy.
Yeah.
Everyone, this is Howie, the Haworthia. Anna's keeping it alive for me. Thank you.
All right. If all the flavors are to your liking, last thing, you're gonna add some lentils and then cover it.
Green lentils in water.
Maybe you don't want to add them right now. You might want to like cover it and let it simmer for like 20-30 minutes and then add them. Mine are dried, so they're just gonna cook in the broth, but if they're already cooked, I don't want them to like disintegrate. And you can turn the heat down when you cover it. People are always like low and slow. All the flavors will like marinate and marry into each other.
Like the wedding soup
Yeah, I love that.
that you made us.
Canadian wedding soup.
So we'll turn this down to 1. I feel like our soup is going down the right path.
Now it's flavor alchemy. Every time you taste it, be like, does it need more salt? Does it need more water? Does it need more herbs? And those things balance each other out. If it's like too much flavor, you can add some water, but don't add too much water. Add stuff a little bit at a time. Let it cook for like at least like 45 minutes, but you could let it cook for several more hours until you're ready to eat it. And that's it.
Thank you so much, Anna. We appreciate your guidance and your help. I have all confidence that this is going to be delicious.
I'm sure it will. If it already smells good, then you're on the right track.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. All right, so we're just buttering up some bread because our soup is ready. It's been about, what, 2 hours since we said goodbye to Anna. That smells amazing. I think we'll have enough for lunch tomorrow. This is delicious. The mushroom and the sausage, with the kale, it's just amazing textures and flavors.
Tastes perfect for winter.
Looks like an internal hug. Let us know if you end up making this. Thank you so much, Anna. We appreciate your help.
Thanks, Anna. Maybe one day I'll make a soup that isn't so nutty.
We're all hopeful. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to like and subscribe.
And tap on our bell, get our notifications.
Ding, ding, ding.
Thank you for coming by.